Hello, hello! My name is Callista and welcome back to Pentiment. In the last episode, Sister Amelie had another vision. This time she was talking about the sin of Saul. Is another murder incoming? Well, I mean, yes, obviously this is a murder mystery game. However, we won't think about that right now. Let's head to bed. Excuse me, pardon me, Casper. There we go. It's time to get some shut-eye and not think about imminent death. It's getting late. I should get some rest. Yeah, let's go to sleep. No dream. Okay, meet Illuminata at the library. I was expecting dreams, but no. I guess Andreas. Oh, I assumed that was to go downstairs. I didn't even see if it was over or anything. Oh god, I don't. Don't be another note. Did you drop this, Casper? No, I don't think so, Master. Why do I have no idea what this says, but why do I feel like it's something like you were warned? Oh no. That script looks beautiful, Master Andreas. Did you write that? What did I say? I am an expert in German. I know no German. Aha! Oh no. I don't like being sent notes like this. This is fucking weird. I don't... No. No. Especially after It was one thing when I was so certain that they were coming from Sister Amelie. It was one thing then, but now that I'm not so certain about her being the letter writer. Because now this... I mean... I don't know what to make. That conversation with Sister Amelie has properly shook me. Has properly shook me. Because, I mean, if it's not her, who? Who would be capable of writing something this beautiful? It's unlikely to be anyone in the village. The people in the abbey, Andreas was like, oh yeah, no, I know their work and it's not them. So that leaves us with sort of interlopers. And from a metaphorical sense, you know, Father Thomas and Sister Amelie, they're not in the village, they're not in the abbey. They're kind of like interlopers. And the game did something really weird where Father Thomas was like, oh yeah, she can't read or write. And Andreas went out of his way to be like, isn't that weird? All of the nuns know how to read and write. Why doesn't this one? And then when Sister Amelie was like, oh, it can be such a bother to write things down in a way that makes sense, he didn't say anything. And I'm like, this feels like a clue. Because we've got two conflicting statements here. And the game went out of its way to be like, isn't it strange that she can't write? You're looking for someone who knows how to write and you're being told that this one can't. But after speaking to her, I'm like, I don't get those vibes. I don't get nefarious vibes from her. She seemed very genuine. Open to having, like, religious discussions that border on somewhat heretical. Or at least somewhat shocking. It was one thing when I thought I was so certain over who the letter writer was. Now that I'm not so certain, I'm just like, it's 10 times creepier. It's 10 times creepier. I don't like this. I don't like this. You were warned. Warned? What does that mean? Warned about what? Warned not to come back. It has to do with the murder that happened the last time I was here. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Say nothing. Oh, God. I was saying before, Otto seems like the most likely victim, but technically speaking, we were warned not to come back here. We could be a very likely victim, however, they don't kill us. They kill someone far more unsuspecting. I feel like we have to be honest here because Casper needs to be on high alert. It has to do with the murder that happened the last time I was here. How? I thought they caught the murderer. Yes, but it's complicated. Let's just head up to the library, Casper. All right, Master. No, let's be honest with the boy and tell him about the danger he's in. Andreas says, fuck that. Andreas, god damn it. God damn it, Andreas. Oh, now... I could head down. Okay, I'm gonna cut through this. However, I'm gonna have a quick run around to see if anyone's knocking about and has any gossip. Be with you in a minute. Hello there. Good morning, Mr. Smurlerin. Hello, Else. My utmost pleasure to see you again. I don't want to go for these anymore. Good morning, Mr. Smurlerin. Good morning, Master Mailer. My husband has been talking about your arrival. We're pleased you've done so well for yourself. Thank you. I see the mill's been doing well. All the fame has only brought more toil. I've been travelling almost non-stop. He didn't seem so interested in me last time I was here. Well, last time you were here, you were a nobody. Now you're a famous artist. I mean, let's not complain to Else. Else seems nice. Elsa seems nice. So yeah, let's just make a little bit of chit-chat about the mill. Thank you. I see the mill's been doing well. Lendhart works relentlessly to keep it in good condition. He's very proud of it. It's unique in these parts, inspired by the designs used in the north. So it's very profitable too, and that's important to Lendhart. Who is this young man? Casper, my apprentice. Hello, mistress. Oh, you must meet my darling Paul. He would love to meet someone his age pursuing art. Just not where Lendhart can see. Yes, Casper and Paul have been introduced. I'm certain they would get along well. If his father wouldn't approve, maybe I should... No, we've already introduced them. Yes, Casper and Paul have been introduced. I'm certain they would get along. That's very good to hear. Paul does not have many friends with similar interests. They are not easy to come by. He does not have many friends in general. Then we will figure something out, only if you were also to attend. I'm like, is this setting up like some kind of play date? I mean, surely they're old enough to do that on their own, but to be honest, I get the feeling that Else doesn't have many friends. I mean, when have we seen... I've only ever seen her interact with the women of the town once, and that was when we were listening to Sabat's stories. Elsa seems very isolated up here. I don't mean this in a flirty way. I think Andreas, he has good memories of Elsa and Paul. And to be honest, I think he'd feel a bit sorry for them. You know, Paul is like Elsa's emotional crutch. That's probably why he doesn't have many friends. Because he was spending so much of his time attending to his mom. And the reason why his mum is depending on him so much is because she can't really depend on her husband. He's not emotionally available for her. He's only kind of interested in like, oh, the mill and my profits. I'm drawn to this, only if you were also to attend. Master Mailer, not like that! I want you to have friends as well! Please, do not be inappropriate. I meant that perfectly friendly. Lendhart will not take it well. I'm sorry, I must get back to work. Until later, Master Mailer. Until then. Okay, Else. Hello again, Veronica. Hello, Andreas. Good to see you back in town. Hello, Veronica. How have you been? Oh, you know, pulled every which way. Mum's been a cow about when I'll give her grandchildren. As if I'm not doing enough work already. It's a good idea to set yourselves up for the future, Veronica. Are you two having trouble? You shouldn't rush something as important as children. Oh, I want the gossip. I want gossip, but I think... Again, I have a rough idea of what may have happened in Andreas's past. I think he'd be suggesting, hey, don't rush into things. Don't rush into things. If you're not prepared, then that can have some disastrous consequences. I want the gossip, though. I want to know what's going on in their marriage, but no. Play the character. You shouldn't rush something as important as children. That's what I keep telling her. Maybe you should talk to her, Andreas. If it comes from someone as successful as you, maybe she'll pay attention. Anyway, I should get back to work. We're all preparing for the festival. I'll leave you to it. Until later, Veronica. See you, Andreas. Well, I mean, your mum's right here. But we can't talk to her, aye? Oh, hello, Big Jorg. Hello, Andreas. Hello again, George. Sorry about dinner the other night. Dad got a little heated. He's just trying to keep his dignity, I understand. Casper didn't mean to insult your family. Peter's a stubborn old man. I mean, I think that's ultimately what it is. He feels like it's charity. And that maybe we're looking down on his family. He's just trying to keep his dignity, I understand. Thanks, Andreas. Dad's always been able to provide for us, but now... Well, things are different now. But that's why Otto's making his speeches and Klaus is printing the 12 articles. Change is coming to Tassing, Andreas. May the winds of fortune blow your way, Jorg. Do you really think you can make a difference? I hope you're right for your sake. Yeah. Yeah, it's like I keep saying, these taxes are gonna push the peasants out. And here's the thing, if the peasants leave, that's just gonna fuck everyone over. Because where are you gonna get your raw resources from? The people who live in the village proper, who make more refined products, like the baker. Like the baker. They will get their wheat from the mill, you know, once it's been processed. But where does the mill get it from? From the farms. If the peasants leave, it's going to have a knock-on effect. Eventually, Tassing will be a ghost town because everyone will have been forced to leave. I hope you're right, for your sake. Me too. I'll see you later, Andreas. Until then. Oh, hello, Ursula. Hello. Hello, Ursula. Do you remember me? No, should I? It's me, Andreas. I've been a friend of your family for ages. I suppose you wouldn't recognise me. I'm not the poor artist your parents boarded. No, you were very young when I was last in Tassing. I boarded in your parents' house. You used to poke me in the foot with a stick to wake me up. She was so small. She was so small. I think Andreas would have fond memories of Ursula. I mean, this makes me smile. I think this would make Andreas smile. You used to poke me in the foot with a stick to wake me up. I did? You did. I stayed in the room upstairs. I kind of remember that. Oh dear. Mom and Dad sometimes talk about you. They said you went far away for more training. What was that like? Well, while I was in London, I learned a new portrait technique. No, not about the art, Andreas. About your travels. All right, all right. No, let's chat with her. All right, all right. Oh. London has a big bridge going over its river, but the bridge is so big there are buildings on it. Have you ever seen a hound without a head? Like, this could scare the poor child. London has a bridge going over its river, but the bridge is so big there are buildings on it. What? Really? It doesn't sink? It's very sturdy. I walked across it myself. That sounds like the miracles Father Thomas talks about. Like the Red Sea splitting. I suppose it is. It's not a miracle, Ursula. People designed and built it by hand. Are you satisfied now? I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of a miracle. If it's like, oh, a miracle is something that's purely created by God, then no, it's not a miracle. Because this was built by human hands. But if you're of the opinion that miracles are God's works through us, then yes, that would be a miracle. Oh, what would Andreas think? What would Andreas think? You're missing a step also. Have you considered replacing it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In Act 1, I played Andreas as someone... He is religious, but he likes to... He likes to show it in his own way. He wasn't one for, you know, going to church and being told what to do, how to act. You know, he wanted to praise God in his own way. Oh, I don't know. I could see Andreas as becoming more jaded. You know, he's become so unhappy in his life. Maybe that would make him a little bit more cynical. But then again, I mean, this is a child. This is a child. It's a child we're fond of. I've not been playing Andreas. Like, I've been avoiding most of the very cynical options. So yeah, let's go with this one then. I suppose it is. Andreas, can I ask you something? Of course. Do you know the stories about Perchta and the Wild Hunt? Okay. Wild Hunt. In Germanic folklore, the Wild Hunt is a supernatural cavalcade of spirits and fiends, which may cause destruction or portent war, and other catastrophe if not adequately appeased. The Wild Hunt is often led by a legendary figure such as Perchta or the Devil, and we read about Perchta in Act 1. Yeah, she's the goddess of the Alps. Okay. I mean, I don't know if Andreas knows about this. Do you know the stories about Perchta and the Wild Hunt? A little. I didn't learn about them until I lived here. Why? Are they bad? Bad how? People say my grandpa used to talk about Perchta and spirits and charms. And the old woman, Atilia, she talks about them too, and says all these words I don't understand. She told me they're part of the old ways or something. So, why do you think they're bad? Well, my dad says that I shouldn't listen to any of it. He said it's nonsense and that Father Thomas would be mad. He said he only tolerates it with old people because they're too stuck in their ways. I don't want to get in trouble, but Atilia says if I don't learn the old ways, they'll just be forgotten. Why are you asking me? I guess because we're an outside opinion. Maybe it's like, oh, well, you're well-travelled, therefore you'd know about these things. So, are they bad? No, they're not bad. You should learn what you can while you can. They're not bad, but those stories could get you in trouble, so... Oh... I mean, here's the thing. I'm inclined to side with her father. Here's the thing. I understand what Atilia is doing. If I don't teach the young ones about the old ways, then they're going to be lost forever. I understand that. I understand the sorrow at the loss of knowledge. But this isn't your kid. This is not your kid. You have no right to be going up to other people's children and saying, hey, I don't care about what your parent wants for you. I'm teaching you this. It'd be another matter if Ursula was, you know, an adolescent and she were old enough to decide for herself, hey, I want to learn about these stories. But right now she's very little. She is very little. And if her dad is saying, I don't want her learning about this, then I feel like we should side with her dad here. And I mean, there's a point to this. There is a point to this. Those stories could get you in trouble. We've had talk of the Inquisition before. Andreas pursues knowledge, but he's a grown-ass man. He is making the decision to pursue that knowledge. Ursula, right now she's so small, I think we should side with what her parents want for her. Then when she's older, if she makes the decision, you know what, I wanna learn more about this. Admittedly, Attilia will probably be dead by then, but hell, I'm sure there are places where she could seek out that knowledge. Again, if her dad doesn't want her learning about this, I mean, who are we? We're not her dad. Who are we to come in and be like, oh yeah, ignore your father? Because that's setting a great precedent, isn't it? Oh, just ignore your parents. Ignore your parents. This totally doesn't sound like grooming type behaviour, telling a small child to ignore what their parents are telling them. Yeah, if her dad is saying, I don't want to learning about this, then I think we have to go with his decision. They're not bad, but those stories could get you in trouble, so maybe you shouldn't learn about the old ways. Really? Oh. Okay. Okay. Yes, some knowledge is dangerous for the soul, even if it doesn't seem like it. All right. Thanks, Andreas. Until later. Okay, Aight then, Ursula. Hello again. Hello, have we met before? Hello again, Seth. It's been a long time. Joseph Hoopner, you're looking hearty even after all this time. No, he said he preferred going by Seth. Hello again, Seth. It's been a long time. Oh, Andreas, the artist from years back. I barely recognised you. Master Mailer is a very renowned painter, don't you know? Oh, yes, Seth. Meet my apprentice, Caspar Ziegler. I'm not so sure about that. I just do what little I'm able. Nod solemnly. Be quiet, Caspar. No, let's introduce him. Oh, yes, Seth. Meet my apprentice, Caspar Ziegler. Pleasure. Now, don't mind me. I don't hear much of what happens outside Tassing. Besides, we didn't talk much back then. You were always busy running back and forth between the Abbey and the Gertners. I guess that's true. It was a hectic time and it didn't get any easier when the murder took place. I don't think Andreas would be necessarily bringing this up on his own. I guess that's true. How have you been doing? The family's well? As well as can be expected in these times. Is that a misspelling or is that their actual name? Okay. Halwig's good and healthy. Simon, my son, is growing like a beast. You heard what Otto has to say, haven't you? The Abbey's taxing us to death, restricting what we can do in the woods. Christ, we can't even pray at the shrine anymore. It's obscene, you understand. We get a harsh winter and people are going to die. Is it really that bad? Very bad, son. But if all of you begin to cause trouble, it'll get even worse. That is just how God has ordained life on this world. Life is never easy, Caspar. You take that lesson to heart. Ooh. Ooh, I mean, this just seems like scaring Casper. Life is never easy, Casper. I don't know why I do that. I mean, this is just how God has ordained life. Except it's not God, it's the abbot. The abbot is taxing the shit out of these people. That's not God's doing. I think Andreas is more timid now. He's more timid after everything he's gone through. But if all of you begin to cause trouble, it'll get even worse. How much worse can it get? If we're given no choices, we have to create some. Lives depend on it. But if the Duke sends his soldiers against you, it'll be a bloodbath. I just hope you're not mistaken. If you say so, Seth, I remain unconvinced. There goes my timer. No, Here's the thing. This is a good point. They're already dying. The taxes are so restrictive, it's killing them off. So this would just speed up the process. I can see why people would be like, hey, we die one way, we die the other. Do we want to go out with a whimper or with a bang? I choose with a bang. I completely see that. I just hope you're not mistaken. Helping others is never a mistake. I've griped enough. In the end, it's action that counts. What brought you back here anyway, Andreas? I came to pay my respects to my friend, Brother Piero. I was on my way home to Nuremberg, Tassing's on the path. I came to pay my respects to my friend, Brother Piero. One of the monks, eh? I suppose you knew them better than most. Enjoy your stay in our little town. It hasn't changed too much otherwise. It has, more than you realise. It has and it hasn't, I suppose. No, not much at all. I think that, you know, it has and it hasn't. It has and it hasn't, I suppose. Ah. Well, alright. I believe the Golden Hand wasn't here on your last visit. And then there's the construction of the Rathaus, of course. Not sure who's going to be on the town council, but Otto says it's just a way to divide us anyway. Just so. That's not exactly what I meant, but yes, you're right. I get Tassing was such a lovely, peaceful little town, and now there's all this upheaval, all this kerfuffle. It's happened slowly for them over the course of 7 years, so it seems normal, but for us it's quite the shock. That's not exactly what I meant, but yes, you're right. Can't really notice changes when you live in them, can you? Alright, enough talk. I've got to return to the family. God watch over you both, Andreas, Casper. Until later, Seth. Bye. Alright, I'll end this episode right here. In the next one, we'll continue exploring the town, and then we'll head up to the Abbey to meet with Sister Illuminata. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Kallista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.